Hi, wankers, flickers, rubbers, and all you other masturbators out there. Welcome to the show. This week we're going to be talking about female masturbation because basically YouTube are assholes, and they're the assholes we're pointing out in the intro. Because, you know, YouTube decided that an educational video about masturbation on my channel wasn't appropriate material. So, here's take two. With me to talk about masturbation today is the lovely Meghann. Hi, Meghann. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're more than welcome. And everyone's favourite bear, Claire.
Yes.
And she's bear.
Yes, and she's bear. She's the bear today.
She's the bear today.
I figured it was appropriate. It would be, less explanation.
Now, while I haven't got semi-naked or naked, I am only semi-naked at the moment. It's too fucking cold to be completely naked today.
Oh, no.
It's absolutely freezing. I've got a heater on under the desk, trying to stay warm. I thought, seeing as how the original video involved me being naked, then so should this stream. And yeah, you're not going to see much because I spent a bit of time. Well, no, I didn't have to spend a bit of time. Fortunately, I'd framed it correctly originally that you wouldn't see much. So screw you, YouTube. If you're going to hammer on this stream, fuck you.
I don't, you know what? It's only bits that they worry about, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah,
Not
it
an
is.
issue.
And that's the thing that really annoys me about the original videos. Aside from the introduction, where I deliberately blanked out anything you shouldn't be able to see, you can see virtually nothing because you see my arms and you can see a little bit of extra skin, and that's about it. I could have been wearing a bikini and you would have seen exactly the same amount, pretty much.
Exactly.
And okay. There's a bit of moaning and groaning at the beginning, and it's very suggestive talking.
Maybe it was the reaction. Maybe it was the reacting, actual
I think
role
it was.
playing
I think
that
it's the
doing.
fact that it was very simulated, and that's part of their conditions. But I still find it crazy because it's 18 seconds of an entire video that's meant to be educational. However, having said that, I made the video well over a year ago when I was a little less experienced in making YouTube videos and streaming and anything like that. So I know that it's got problems because for a pre-recorded video, it felt like a stream. Where we're just going off the top of our heads and ranting about stuff.
Right,
well,
right.
I didn't rant, but going off the top of their heads. And it's also very obvious where I'm reading stats instead of having learnt what I was trying to say. I was reading it, and it does come off that way and doesn't come off as quite as professional as if I'd done the same video now. Having said that, it was 95,000 views on that video, and losing it from my channel has not only cost me all those views, because I'm now down to 26,000 views on my channel.
That's
Which sucks, but also all the time from it. So now instead of being very close to 4,000 hours, I'm down to about 2,500 hours, which is
that sucks.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I realize.
Is there anything you can do
nothing.
to get it back?
I already countered it. I sent a counter email to YouTube about it, where they say that if you put a counterclaim against it, they will have a person, an actual human being, look at it. Yeah, no, they didn't. Basically, I said, look, the video is educational. There's only 18 seconds at the front of it that could possibly be construed as being against your policy, and I'm happy to remove those 18 seconds if that's what you wish. But I'd like to keep the video because I think there's good content in there. And I got a reply within 20 seconds of sending that saying, no, we turned it down. You're going to lose the video anyway. You couldn't have even read what I posted to them in 20 seconds.
Right.
There is no way a human being looked
response.
at that. Yeah, it was an auto response.
Yeah, it's
Right.
auto response, which is a failure of their own policy.
It is. You're
Yeah.
supposed to review these things, and they didn't. And I kind of...
And so there's nothing you can do now. There's no additional complaint.
No, there's nothing. They've already removed the views and the hours from it. The video will whilst the video is sitting on my channel for me to review, it will disappear in the next couple of days. Fortunately, I still have the original recording.
There you go.
And I do plan on removing those 18 seconds and uploading the video again. But I thought before we did that, us being able to go through it, comment on it, having a bit of fun in the stream, we can skip over bits and pieces of it.
Oh, because YouTube's a prude. Let's just show them.
YouTube is a fucking prude. There's every chance this stream could be taken down as well. But I'm at the point of, like, fuck you, YouTube.
That's
right.
Yes. Oh my god.
Because I mean, this is a ridiculous thing that, you know, okay, it's not the best video I could have created. I'd make a much better one now than when I did that. And to be fair, I was deliberately creating a video that would be clickbait at the start of it. There's good information in it, but I deliberately went for clickbait. So
it was educational. It was good. It was a good video.
It was definitely clickbaity. Very clickbaity, as could be seen by how many views it had compared to my normal view rates on most of my stuff. So,
I don't understand why it was fine a year ago. It's been fine for 11 months and some days. You know, 11 months and some days. 95,000 views.
June
it was fine.
June last year. So more than a year.
95,000 views. And all of a sudden they have a problem with it. So what asshole wrote that email that had them look at that? That's who I want to find.
I know I got a comment on the video a few days back from a Christian person about it.
Yeah. Oh, God.
And then I got a whole heap of extra views on the video, more than what it normally would get in a day. So I strongly suspect that it was flagged to one of this person's group, and they mass flagged the video. So I suspect it was a mass flagging that alerted YouTube, and YouTube which is really annoying.
Okay, I just don't understand why they don't
especially with a video that's flagged for adults only.
Right.
It makes
it's flagged for adults. And why don't they want their women to be happy anyway? It just makes their life better.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But it puts me off doing other videos in that line as well, because I wanted to do a video on oral sex and some other stuff, which would include demonstration with a dildo in the stream and stuff like that. So, but if I do something like that, it will get taken down because someone will report it, YouTube will do it, and they won't look at it for the type of adult content, education content it actually is, as opposed to, you're just doing porn on the... No, it's not porn. If you're actually putting content around it that is educational, that's not porn. Okay, there'll be some people who want to watch that just to get their jollies. People will watch cats playing to get jollies.
Do they think that people just know how to do this, like with no some type of instruction whatsoever? I mean, you either hear it from your girlfriends or I mean, do they actually think that this is to their detriment? It's really not. If you think about it, they're just being short-sighted.
Oh, very short-sighted. I totally agree. But here's where we are. I don't have to lose all the content. I may even re-record the video. I might go through it, take the notes off it, because I don't have the original bit of script that I wrote for it. But I could take notes off it, and I might even re-record it as a more modern version of the original video with it done a bit better. And maybe with input from other people as well, because I think it's a topic that's worth having a discussion about, because... Yeah, guys get lots of content for them about the best ways to masturbate, or what the point is of your self-pleasuring, etc. But women, as women don't. It's not the same thing for us. There is a social taboo about talking about women masturbating.
Right.
I think that taboo is everywhere, but it is harder on us, I believe.
Even the word wank. Technically, wank is just a term for masturbation. But if you say the word wank, all you ever think about is a guy jacking off. Because
I thought of that immediately.
Me too.
Because you call them wankers. Yeah. So I automatically thought we were talking about guys.
Wanking isn't just is anyone masturbating. So if you're a wanker, you can be anyone masturbating. It doesn't mean you have to have a penis to masturbate, to wank, because it's just masturbation. But socially, contextually, we have changed that meaning. That we have not changed it, but we've defined it as just being somebody having a tug of their jolly old fella. So that it's one of those things where masturbation has become a male-dominated thing, and we as women, women don't masturbate. That's bullshit. Because
bullshit.
I call bullshit on that.
I call bullshit. My hand is way up here. Bullshit.
However,
bullshit.
we do have some stats.
Bullshit.
We actually do have some stats on masturbation, and it's actually on the very first part of the video that I did. So, shall we play it and have a listen, and then we can tear me apart for being really, really dreadful in the way I presented it. Oh no, it is dreadful. I watched it a few minutes
I can't imagine you being dreadful at all.
Right.
I can't. It's going to be hard to get the two of us to call you dreadful. We should have a bingo card, because I don't think that's going to happen. But
bingo card for the audience.
Yep, bingo card.
How much of this video is cringeworthy?
Actually, from what I'm looking at who's in the chat, they're not going to think any part of it's cringe.
They're going to love it.
They're going to love it.
Yes.
They're going to be like, is it Saturday night? What's going on over here? Like, I thought it was Monday.
It feels just like it feels like a mayhem. But that was the idea. To do this like doing a mayhem, but we're covering one particular topic.
Well, when you get to editing and all, send me clips, man. I'll make you mayhem famous. For sure.
There you go.
Well, like I said, I may redo the entire video.
You know what? You send me that 18 seconds. That's my new opening for mayhem. That 18 seconds. Yes. Yes. We shouldn't let that die in the infernals of YouTube's prudishness. We should let that flag fly. We should definitely
I did hear
replay that
saying
18
that if
seconds.
you put it far enough into the video, the prudes don't get that far and they won't watch it, so you don't get reported. But I'm not taking the risk after already having a warning, so it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, I'll play that one by ear. But I am very, very tempted to use the big censor label I have, put it over that, and just publish that as 18 seconds with a censor label over the top. So people get all the audio track and none of the video.
Send it. Can you? I get claimed for ducks doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
We might as well get claimed and censored for the right stuff.
Copyright claim for the geoduck?
I did, but I fought it and it got released.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I said, listen, we didn't even play the sound halfway through. We laughed through the whole thing, and it was educational. I was showing.
You know what would be hilarious is if I got a copyright claim on this, because it's my own video and YouTube.
On your own claim, you will. That would just show you how ass backwards YouTube is.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
All right. Without further ado, people, we will we'll play first a little bit of the video. Masturbation, the age-old tool of self-gratification.
I love the music.
There's a joke that kind of goes that 98% of people have masturbated and the other 2% are lying. And
they're lying.
While it is very common for people to masturbate in general, studies have shown that it's actually a lot less of the population than you would usually think. Only 61% of men and 38% of women said they'd masturbated during a study done by the University of Chicago. Now, all I can think of listening to myself say that is, were they actually masturbating during the study? Or was 38% of women masturbated during the study at Chicago? Oh, what a great study! That's just was.
Did they have to turn people away for that, or what? I mean, they must have had volunteers like
I bet.
many
Oh
volunteers.
yeah, I mean, like, hey, they're doing this study in Chicago. They're showing us porn and giving us magazines, and we're allowed to masturbate.
Like, I want to read that ad live on YouTube on how they recruited people for that study. I gotta find that.
It is dreadful phrasing on my part. That's what it is.
That would.
but yeah, I should drop us off so people can see us. But But yeah, they only 38% of women claim that they masturbate, and 67% of men. Now, I think part of the difference there is that most men seem to be proud about the fact that they masturbate. Hey, I had a wank. You know, guys say that, but for us as women, there's this thing of embarrassment about it. There's a pressure that women. There's that old thing from England where women can't be sexual, which is just bullshit.
That's the problem too. It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's
bullshit,
misogynistic and bullshit, but it's a social pressure.
It's the stereotype that
It
you
is.
can't be both. You can't be the caretaker and you can't be the sex part at the same time, which is true because they want, like, they're attracted to you. They want to marry you. They want to raise family with you, whatever. They want to get with you because you're attractive and you're stimulating to them. And then you want you to take care of everything.
Yeah.
And then they don't want you to be that anymore, you know?
Right.
So it's like the bait and switch. It's like the bait and switch, which doesn't work with me.
And
I'm
it's kind of sad that there's not more of us who'll open up and admit and say, yeah, I masturbate. I like to flick the bean. You know, there's something sensuous about rubbing my own labia. You know, if we can say these things out loud, or probably not the last one, but if we can say these things out loud.
Like, if we can't do it right ourselves, how are we supposed to show anybody else what we like and how to get it done? Do you really want to waste years of your life waiting for somebody to get it right?
Exactly.
Seriously,
because
ladies.
only you know your body well enough to get it there. And if you don't explore your own body and figure out what works for you, how can you possibly ever tell any partner you have what you like?
Right. Exactly. Or show, or just moving the right, like, no. You need that communication, and you have to know yourself. But I wasn't always like this. No, I wasn't always like this. Society kept me from being like this for a long time.
I totally get it, Claire. I mean, it took me a long time to come out of my shell and be confident enough to just say, no, I do that. I'm proud of my body. I'm proud of who I am. And I like my body. I like enjoying my body. And if I ordain to share my body with you, you better damn well like it too.
No, it takes a long time to get comfortable enough and not care what anybody's going to say about it. Like, I don't care because I know the truth now. So I know my truth. They don't care what anybody thinks about it anymore. Because if you want to be happy, you need to take control of what you think happy is, or what you think is going to bring you happiness. And if you can't depend on somebody else for it. That includes masturbation and your sexual relationships. I mean, that's just like a big statement that applies to everything. But if you're not happy with yourself and you don't know what's going to make you happy, you're never going to find it, because nobody's going to magically come touch you with a wand and give you an orgasm.
If you ask nicely.
And I can assure you, if they could just touch you with the wand and give you an orgasm, they're very, very talented, and they're probably into a lot of people, and you're not going to keep that one for you.
We have some really, really good vibrators out there on the market. We might end up with the magic one. Although, having said that, I don't know if I'd like it at the point where you just get touched and you orgasm straight away.
So
I mean, what's the point in that? I enjoy taking a long time to get to an orgasm.
Yeah, I don't want just to be touched. No, I don't want.
I mean, wouldn't that really make us no better than guys? Because there are definitely guys out there who get their wands touched and automatically come.
Yep.
I hope I don't know any of them, but I think getting there is. I think getting there is just. I think getting there is just as much fun as actually the arrival.
It really is. There is a lot of pleasure to be had in the process of getting there.
Well, in in all of the process, alone, together, whatever.
And even the post-process, depending on the guy you're with or the woman you're with, the post-process can be really nice too. Just the post-sex cuddling is awesome.
I like cuddling all the time.
Me too.
Anyway, I'm a cuddler. Look out, people. I'm a hugger. I'm a cuddler.
Ted just said you have to rub my wand a bit before it works.
As it should be, Ted. You shouldn't be easy. Though it's good, Let them pay a lot of attention to you before you show them it's worth it. I agree. I agree.
All right, shall we continue? Now that I've interrupted the video.
No, that's
It was a good spot. It was a silly bit of phrasing on my part.
it was good.
It was fun though.
Because
I
I know all
enjoyed
those
it.
people saying they don't masturbate were liars. That was
Oh,
my favorite
definitely
part.
they're
I put that in the
liars.
chat.
Yeah.
They're just non-masturbators are liars. Period.
Definitely liars.
Liars.
Let's go. Now, well, we might argue that perhaps because the interviews for this study were done face to face, a lot of people didn't actually want to admit to masturbating. Which we said.
Especially
Especially in America, where if you came from a religious background, maybe the whole idea of admitting you're masturbating isn't such a great idea. But it is true that not everyone does it. And I have to ask myself, why? Why wouldn't you masturbate? If you don't have a sexual partner, why not bring a little bit of joy to your own life? Masturbation has a lot of benefits for us. The benefits. And my aim during this video is to talk about some of those benefits that we as women can take from masturbating and how we can get more enjoyment out of the act for ourselves. So, without further ado, let's look into it.
Now, I actually like the way you
We
said
get
all of that.
aroused.
Yeah.
The hormones,
You had
adrenaline.
great eye movement, great focus on the camera.
Oh,
what
the
are you
look on that
complaining
face.
about?
I'll just turn that
No,
off. for this.
well, that where you just paused, it wasn't so. But I meant before when you were talking. That
Yeah.
was. I like the way you presented the whole thing, whether you were
Yeah,
reading it or not.
I mean, it does come across as there's nothing sexual in this part of it. It's talking about sexual stuff, but it's not sexual. This is not a video, if you get past those first 18 seconds, that deserves to be taken off.
It's the music. That's what it is.
Yeah, they've got this porn thingy.
I think that's what it is.
It was
like,
deliberately
YouTube.
chosen, though.
You know what? You know what it is. YouTube is acting like a 14-year-old boy when they look at this. That's
If they
what
were
it
acting
is,
like a
because-
14-year-old
so.
boy when they
That's-
were doing this YouTube, most of my views would have come from YouTube itself.
Yeah. I think YouTube had a 14-year-old boy look at this video. That's what it was. No, if they did, it would probably stay up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, certainly the 14-year-old boy would.
You know what? As soon as that came out of my mouth, that's what went in my head. There you go. I knew you were gonna. Oh my god.
I say the thoughts that Claire is thinking.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, God, oh my gosh, you're gonna need help after this stream, then, if that's the case. Just book a counseling session right now, because this is gonna get bad. I can tell. I can't contain myself. I'm just really, really upset with YouTube right now. It's like, how dare they mess with our
How
sexual
dare that
education?
YouTube mess with us?
I know.
It's my bean. I'll flick it if I wanna.
It's my bean and I'll flick it if I want.
See, told you, you're gonna need that session.
Ah, dear. All right, let's continue. And noradrenaline are released, which increases our heart rate and our blood pressure, which leads to engorgement of the vagina and the clitoris. It also causes your muscles to tense up, which means that masturbation is basically a workout. So not only do you derive pleasure from it, you also get to burn a few calories. Of course,
Increased
as we
circulation.
stimulate our erogenous... Come on, it's the best exercise. Oh, God, I look smug there. It is effectively the best exercise you can... Well, sex is generally considered one of the best exercises you can do. And masturbation is just the solo form of that. So, but yeah, all those hormones you release during any act of sexual pleasure, which includes masturbation, are all
Increased
positive drugs.
circulation.
They increase
Circulation without stress. Endorphins that decrease pain
Right.
and depression.
And
Yeah.
depression, yep.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're feeling a little bit, if you're feeling a little bit of pain, or not too much pain, because it's not going to really affect that, but or a little bit depressed, having a bit of a wank or a flick of the bean can be absolutely wonderful for you. Just to release it, just to get it out of your
Mhm.
system. And why anyone wouldn't want to use that as, it's a natural remedy. Natural
I think
medicine.
it is. This time of year, some people for the United States here, they get seasonal depressive disorder.
Yes.
And I did just read something yesterday that increasing masturbation would give you the hormones and the endorphins needed to combat it. So if you have to stay in longer because of the weather or
Yeah.
decreased sun or whatever, increase your masturbation schedule. That's
Oh,
my recommendation. Right there
Right.
from the bear.
I can just imagine. I mean, doctors in the future will write scripts out that say you need to have at least 12 strokes a day if you're a guy, or at least 30 flicks a day if you're a woman.
I want him to
there's-
actually write that. I want him to write prescriptions for O's instead. Like, I want the whole deal. I don't want a number
Oh
of
yeah, they
flicks.
should be writing that. Yeah, and
Okay.
and I honestly think we should stop calling them sex aids when you're talking about vibrators or dildos or anything like that. We should be calling them medical aids, because they're actually helping us and getting better and healing us.
They are. You know what? And they should have coverage for those. I
And
think.
chemists should
That's a
sell
new
them. We
thing.
shouldn't
Yeah.
have to go into sex
Mhm.
shops. We should be able to purchase them from a
Mhm.
chemist.
Yeah, as long as you're not in Texas. Oh, God.
Well, you'd only be allowed to purchase 6, and you'd have to have a license for it, so that you.
Mm.
See,
I'm
so
waiting,
Texans
I'm
are now
waiting.
going
Writing-
to be Texans with the limits on how many dildos you're allowed to have. Their women are going to get bigger. They're going to be more stressed. They're going to have more suicide for the women. There's also going to end up with more pregnancies, and with their abortion laws now, we're going to know there's going to be big problems there, because, I mean,
Right.
if you're not allowed to pleasure yourself, you're going to be trying to get pleasure somewhere else.
Right.
Encouraging more self-pleasure is a good form of birth control.
I
That's
just see a
true.
lot of disappointment in their future. I do. It's a lot of disappointment.
They need to watch more
Because
of
they're
these
gonna be-
videos,
I
because
mean,
then they'll learn
these
how to do
same
it right.
people, they're going to be looking for pleasure from the same people that are regulating their uterus. Somehow I don't see this working out too well in their favor, actually. There's just a disconnect there for me. I don't see how it's gonna work.
No.
I don't know. I'll bet you they try to put another law out before the end of the year against masturbation. I'm waiting for that one.
Oh, yeah.
gosh.
If they do that, mark my words, they do that, I'm doing a 24-hour stream. I'll stay on YouTube for 24 hours and blast
Naked
Texas.
24-hour stream where we each take it in turns getting our jollies.
Yeah, that's it. Because I just I can't believe some of the stuff that they're trying to do.
I mean,
It's
I've got to say, I'm
Uh.
prepared. It's in arm's reach, It is actually in arm's reach.
Not Texas. Oh no. Okay, the anti-Texas. Yes. That's a
See, Texas, this is what you're stopping. This is what you're not allowing us to enjoy. Fuck you, Texas. Back up on this, you bastards.
Yes, that's right. Let us have our fun. Let us
Right.
definitely have our fun.
I mean, let's face it. The people who are making these laws in Texas are basically all men. And
Of course.
and they're obviously doing this all the fucking time, because... Or maybe they're so socially repressed that they're not doing enough of that, and that's why they're making these laws.
This is true. If carrying a child to term is always what they call God's will, why isn't ED God's will?
ED.
Erectile dysfunction,
Oh,
which all those fuckers have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But they do everything they can to combat that. Anything, medically, anything. And it gets paid for by insurance, and
That's
they write
true.
laws to protect it. And don't mess with my ED med. No, no, no. Don't try to regulate my organ. Why
look,
is that not?
The best tweet I saw after it was, why don't we mandate that all young men have to have reversible vasectomies? And then they were only allowed to have them reversed once they are in a long-term committed relationship.
You know
That solves the entire problem.
That is actually successfully reversible.
Yes.
In most cases.
And it guarantees you won't have any unwanted pregnancies. Well, it doesn't guarantee it, but it makes it less likely.
You know what, Jen? Right. How dare you start making sense? Now, don't be talking sense. Because half of the people in Texas brains are going to explode, like right now, because you did like a common sense thought there. Like they can't handle it.
They can't handle the truth.
They can't handle common sense. That makes too much damn sense, because a man can impregnate 365, and that's only if he does it once a day, 365 different women and have 365 unwanted children in a given year. But a woman can only carry one a year. So why are you regulating me and not them?
Maybe up to 5 or 6 if you're having... You know, you can have twins and sextuplets and...
Well, yeah,
but unlikely on average 1 a year. You can carry 2 in a year, but you can only have 1.
If you want to have a productive law that would combat any of this, that would be the law to make.
It would.
But, that's too common sense. Don't regulate my penis.
You also
mandate
for a proper sex education in all schools. Full-on sex education. Free
there you go.
Free contraceptives.
Now you're just talking about solving all the problems simply, and that just can't happen.
Any kid should be able to walk up to the social worker in the school and say, "Can I get a packet of condoms?" Any of the kids in high school, I'll state that it should be high school, not primary school. High school kids should be able to go and get a packet of condoms for free, dispensed from their schools, so they don't have to go to their parents. And if you give proper sex education, access to proper birth control, the kids aren't going to go crazy and have heaps of sex, because that's not what happens. They go crazy and have heaps of sex.
They're going to do it anyway. They're going to.
Yeah.
They're teenagers. They're going to do it anyway.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah, and if
it
you
is not
sex
education that does it.
If you do what we're trying to do here, I mean, I know we're having a lot of fun with it, but if you see what I did there? But if you teach them about masturbation, if you teach them about self-pleasuring in the right way, then they're even less likely to go out and have sex. Well, they might have sex, but they'll at least be more sensible about it. And, education. And in anything, educating people is always the answer.
During that education, you also teach about consent and respect for both parties on both sides, for the male and the female, and boys needed to. And, that just makes too much sense. Like, they just, why that can't happen? Do you know why that can't happen, Jen?
Because they're all prudes.
Meghann, Texas, right? Texas is why that can't happen.
Yes, Texas, definitely.
It's my new thought process for what is that mentality that is stopping all this from happening? Texas. That's what I call it now. Just Texas.
Just Texas.
Yeah, because we don't even have MAGAs anymore. We have Texans.
We just have Texans. That's it. It's just Texas, and that's
Texas
it. We can't.
In general.
They don't want you to.
With a little creep in Florida.
They don't want you to have dildos. They don't want you masturbating. They definitely, oh my God, they want to regulate your uterus till I don't know.
But not just that, they want to regulate everybody who is not a cis-het Christian, basically. If you're not a cis-het Christian, you are being regulated. Because we're going to make you fucking conform to what we think is the right.
This is what blows my mind, is when you get that extreme, that you're Christians who aren't even acting like they're Christian, because isn't being Christian supposed to be caring about other people and, and not being judgmental and bringing people into the fold? But what do? They discriminate, they segregate, they regulate. This is all the eights they're doing.
All the eights.
And it's just not all the eights.
Well, except for the masturbates.
Except for the masturbate, right. And you know what? And if they would just do that, that's our point. If they would just do that, they might leave all the other eights alone.
If legislators in Texas spent more time wanking and less time trying to make legislation, it'd be a much better state.
Like, yep, it's just like, pull your own, dude. Get away from my uterus.
So
Damn.
they're already wankers in one sense. They need to become wankers in the other sense so that they can stop fucking around with other people's lives.
That's, I'm not even going to say anything
Because
to that. I got a lot to say about that.
The idea of creating laws is to protect people. But the laws that they're making aren't protecting people. They're oppressing people. And as soon as you start making oppressive laws, you are an asshole.
They're segregating. They're oppressing.
They're segregating
definitely.
and oppressing. This is what they're doing is no different to, ostensibly no different to what segregation did back in the.
They have alienated most females in Texas with this because they have made a state of fear. You are now in a situation that you are afraid to get pregnant.
People with disabilities as well, and people, anyone who's LGBT is anyone in any of those minority categories. It's no, fuck you if you live in Texas.
And
that's
it.
Yeah, that's dreadful, and it's also the mentality of a lot of Republican states in the US and in parts of Europe now, and it's kind of shocking to me that we've come to this point where the men in power, the patriarchy, and I hate using that word, but I am going to use it. Are rebelling to the point of wanting to crush everyone else beneath them.
My issue is that I truly believe in religious freedom for everyone, including the belief not to believe. And I don't think that they should be regulating by religion. And I truly think these attacks are that. And that is something that is against being an American, in my eyes.
The freedom of religion. The freedom of religion is also freedom from religion. And that's the bit
right.
that
As far as legislation goes, like your religion should not be regulating me if I don't believe
separation
in your
of church
religion.
and state.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, except for it's the big go around because unfortunately, well, as I explained when I did the video against Texas, was that that's not actually in our Constitution. Nobody actually said separate church and state. They said they didn't think it was a good idea. But they didn't actually put it down in writing. And then it was like, oh, God, 100 years later, they start talking about it and putting it in essays in the paper and things like that. But they haven't actually formulated it into rock solid until like 1909 or something like that. And then it was that it shouldn't happen. But they haven't made it like there's no penalty if it does. Nobody ever says what'll happen.
And it happens all the time because... Right. Their concept of that separation of church and state is separation of religion from the state unless it's my religion. And that's what it comes down to. It's a selfish attitude.
And I had this conversation with a very intellectual person who explained to me that your politics can be influenced by your religion, and that's perfectly okay. But what you can't do is legislate by religion. There's got to be a fine line there, but where do we draw it? Like every single person is influenced by their belief in some way, whether they believe, they don't believe, whatever your religious connotations are. So obviously, if you're involved in politics, it's going to influence you in some way. But to legislate it that way with clear belief is in a religious doctrine, it is offensive. It's offensive. It's just, and it separates all the other people. It's like saying your way or the highway, and that's what I'm against. Pretty much. Yeah.
All right. Shall we play the next?
Let's go. Let's go. No, I was going to say, Belinda said it's Denmark that has mandatory sex ed in the curriculum from the moment. I think it is because they have.
And you'll find in those countries where they have mandatory sex ed, where you have access for kids to condoms and easy access for them to get other forms of birth control, the rates of abortion are incredibly low. What you find is in heavily policed religious states, where you're saying, no, you can't give kids access to sex education and you can't give them access to birth control. That's when you end up having lots of teenage abortions because you end up and the
Right.
abortion rate is highest in the religious and not the irreligious.
Mm-hmm. I did.
Yeah. We're off topic. But it's a good topic to go off topic onto. Because it is kind of related. I mean, as we said, if you learn
It's
to
hard.
self-pleasure, it is a good... God, my mouth doesn't want to work, which is a good thing we're not doing an oral sex one at the moment. Yeah, I've derailed myself. That's fine.
Okay. I was going to say, this is why animated avatars gets me so excited, because then you don't have to worry. This is why I get so excited about the possibility of having an animated avatar that can do stuff like that. Like,
I don't know.
just think, people. That would be like Bear Gone Wild. It would be like a whole new series.
Gotta have the whole tongue thing too.
I know. I see. Yeah. Oh, Matt's looking for ideas for his next thumbnail from this video. Really?
Uh-oh.
All right.
Matt, you've been shocking me lately. Like, you were practicing your eye
the other
rolls.
night, wasn't he?
What? No, he was great.
It was good. It was good, but it was wow, Matt.
He did practice his eye rolls really well for that debate, though. I was watching. He did. There were some good eye rolls in that one. There was some really good ones, man.
You have to have good ones with Angela. Now there's somebody who's in more dire need of a masturbation than anyone in history.
Oh my God, I can't even. Oh my God. I don't know.
Right, with that, I think we'll play some more video.
Please play the video. Play the video. I gotta get that thought out of my head.
Zones like the clitoris, our nipples, vagina, cervix, and everywhere else that you feel kind of sexy about. For me, it's my inner thighs. I love my inner thighs stroked. But that gets your cortex firing, and your brain takes in all this information, and it just focuses on the pleasure center.
You can tell I was enjoying
this. Of course, causes your brain to release more endorphins that bring out those extra pleasure moments for you. Once we get going, we release dopamine and oxytocin, our feel-good hormones. And of course, that makes us really get going. And this has beneficial knock-on effects of helping with anxiety and depression, and just generally improving our mood. So masturbation has some wonderful positive effects for us as individuals. But you also get a sense of fulfillment. After orgasm, your brain is flooded with prolactin, and it just makes you feel fulfilled and completed. It's a wonderful thing, and you can get yourself there without a partner, on your own, in the privacy of, say, your own bedroom, or anywhere else you can find a little bit of privacy, or if not in private, if that's what floats your boat. The thing is, masturbation helps with so many things in our lives. To ignore it and not partake of it would seem a detrimental sort of thing to do. Now, of course, after all these chemicals get...
Alright. I think I was enjoying that way too much.
I think you were having a good time, but you should have a good time doing this one.
Yeah,
because if you weren't having a good time, nobody's going to believe you.
No,
exactly.
On how great it is. And I mean, it's everything we've already talked about. The fact that you get all these different hormones released. I forgot about the prolactin, which is your end hormone. That is the one that says, "Hey, look, it's your completion hormone. It's the one that gives you that sense of fulfillment when you've completed something and wants you to try to achieve the next thing." So it's I'm fucking awesome. I did this. That hormone is released after orgasm in both men and women, and it's one of those things that encourages us to have more of them. So it's nature's way of encouraging us to continue to have sex or continue to get to that point of orgasm. It's why for some women, if you don't get to orgasm during sex, sex can become very disappointing because you don't get the prolactin release, and without that release, you feel like, what have I done this for? You know, I've had those other bits of pleasure, but I really didn't get anywhere.
Right, but not right.
And it's why guys are so driven by the act of coming, because for them the prolactin release is actually more intense than the other hormonal releases. That is what enables us to have multiple orgasms and things like that. So for a guy, getting to the prolactin release is what it's about, because that's their sense of fulfillment, and that is ultra important. Which is a good sidetrack. The way that these hormones react is, and the way we release them is heavily tied to how much estrogen you have in your body.
Right.
So that's why often women who are pregnant, because your hormone levels change when you're pregnant, you'll actually find that you're actually getting more pleasure out of sex, even though it can be incredibly uncomfortable, and you get more horny and things like that.
Very horny.
And why sometimes into menopause you can find that your sex drive drops as well, because your estrogen levels can lower as well. So a lot of women like to have HRT, not just to get rid of flushes and things like that, but to keep themselves more sexual and get more pleasure out of the sex that they're having, because of the way those hormones interact. So it's fascinating. And I should have mentioned that when I did the original video, but I didn't.
No, but not all women. Some women it increases too. It depends on how you go through your menopause and what happens.
Right.
Some women's bodies change. Well, I had heard, and I know all the scientists here, this is a brave statement on my part because I'm not a scientist, but I have heard that in some way our bodies completely change all over every 7 years, like cellularly, chemically, endocrine system.
Yeah, everything.
And so, right. So as you get older,
on average, it's 7 years. Some parts of the body take an awful lot longer. Some parts never change. There are certain aspects of our brains that don't get recycled throughout our entire lives, and it's one of the reasons why we can get dementia and stuff as we get older as well, because they don't. But on average, every single cell in our body has been recycled within 7 years. So
you see that I just got naked bare goosebumps because I made a scientific statement that didn't get disproved in a room full of really small
There
people.
you go.
well, because you were right.
No, because it was all about sex. That's the only reason I was right. Because when it comes down to that, that's what I was researching when I found that out. So it was about our changing bodies, and then how our hair changes, our
nails. As Ted said in the chat, some of the things in our body are recycled every 70 days. That's how come you get that average of 7 years. Some things take a lot longer, like when you get down to bone and things like that. Those things can take a lot longer to recycle around. But things like our skin,
there's my next
our stomach lining, things like that. Within
I know
70 days,
that can change. Yep, that's why you got to stick with things longer. Like when you change your skincare routine or something like that, you have to stay with it a longer. I'm going to research. That's my next Google research project, that I'm going to get the list of what changes in 70 days just because I want to know. Yeah, that's like,
so effectively
I'm going to be a new
person, and we've lost Regan, but that's okay. She'll be back.
She will.
Regan,
she's having
Meghann.
internet
what
issues.
What the hell's wrong with my brain?
Meghann. Yeah.
Meghann, yeah.
Regan, I think, is still in
Regan's
the chat.
still in the chat, yeah.
If we didn't scare everybody away with our Frank masturbating on screen.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Frank's talking about 70 days because you're a new person because most of you is dead, which is true, because the large proportion of us does swap out within 70 days when you're talking about your skin, your stomach lining, and even the fluids within your body tend to recycle over about 70 days. Right. Your blood's completely flushed out and changed and things like that. So, and that's the largest majority of your body. The other stuff takes a bit longer, but that's why they say on average in 7 years you've replaced every single cell, because the stuff that happens really quickly plus the stuff that happens over that slightly longer period of time averages out to the few things that never change. yeah, they're completely washed out in the statistics.
And there you go. I want to concentrate on the parts that are still alive, Ted. I don't want to keep.
Well, technically, all
Yeah.
your outer layer of skin is dead, but your nerve endings are close enough too that you feel it anyway. So.
And the more you masturbate, the more you feel alive.
Oh hell yeah!
This is true.
The more we feel alive.
You can't. You cannot feel dead while masturbating. It doesn't work.
No.
It's very hard. No. I would say if you're having a tough day, masturbate. I would say if you're having a good day, masturbate.
I mean,
I would say if it's a day, masturbate. Like,
and have some
I would
porn as
say-
well. You may as well.
I always say yay porn, whatever
Yay
gets
porn.
you there.
Yeah, whatever gets
and
you.
yet I don't actually watch a lot of porn,
No,
but
me
I
neither.
believe that. But I actually am yay porn, whatever gets everybody in the mood to connect and to feel good and get those endorphins going, however you get it. As I just want people to be relaxed and happy. There's no better way to relax your body from the tensions of everyday living. Sorry, there's no better way. Most people come home, they drink a glass of wine or have a drink. You know, I'm just telling you, there's a better way to do it.
Well,
It
you
is
could have-
actually
you could
more
do both,
effective.
though. If you want a glass of wine, have a glass of wine and have a little tickle at the same time. Why not?
Yeah, wine and a tickle. There
Wine
you go.
and a
That's
tickle.
a prescription. I want to get it. Wine and a tickle. That's what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to
but-
get. That prescription. Yep. You could throw some cheese in there too. That'd be good.
I mean, forget
I'd
Netflix
be
and
so happy.
Netflix and chill. It's wine and a tickle.
Yeah, for me it would be Netflix, cheese, wine, and a tickle. Yeah,
And a
that would be
tickle,
good. Yeah. You know, yeah, that'd be good. That would definitely be good. One a day keeps the doctor. It depends, doctor. It depends on if I fancy the doctor or not. I might not want the doctor to go away. You know.
You might want the doctor to do the tickling.
Yeah, maybe it would be a tickle in a pickle. You don't know.
Tickle in
You
a
don't know.
pickle, yeah.
It depends. You know?
Oh no, that's a phrase that's staying now. That is,
Nikki's going to be
tickle in a pickle.
hashtagging that one up for sure.
That-
It's
that
gonna
one's
be-
staying. that Claire in 2021.
2021.
I like a tickle
Yep.
and a pickle.
That would. Occasionally, you need a pickle.
You need a pickle.
Definitely. You can't always just do a tickle.
But it's
Occasionally-
usually nice if it starts with a tickle and ends with a pickle.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. I agree. I can't argue with that at all. Like,
No.
I got nothing to say, Jen. That's rare.
Well, shall we see what I had to say over a year ago then?
Yeah, let's see what you had to say.
I've got the wrong thing up. Hey, there's two of me. Yay.
Oh, it's you. Hi, Jen. Too.
Technical difficulties.
Released in your brain, you might feel a little bit out of it, like perhaps you're a little bit high. But it's not in a bad way, it's a good way, because these are all chemicals our brain makes and releases. So we have the benefit of releasing all these good chemicals that promote happiness, contentment, fulfillment, all from a little act of flicking a bean. And to my mind, that's a very worthwhile experience.
Tickle and
It is. You get a lot for the effort. You do. You get a lot of
There are
benefit
as many
for the
ways
effort.
for women to masturbate as there are women on this planet. The reality is, we all have our own little likes and dislikes, and we all do things a little bit differently. Some of us might rush to the clitoris and give it a good old rub, whilst others are quick to get a couple of fingers in that vaginal canal. But the truth of the matter is, there are so many erogenous zones on our bodies that we can use to get ourselves there, actually experiment in a little floor play with ourselves, and bring ourselves to a fulfilling and wonderful climax. Lots of women will start with their own nipples, rubbing them, caressing them. If your boobs are big enough, maybe even sucking them yourself.
I can do that.
Ooh,
Not that I'm going to demonstrate, because I'd like
Bingo.
to keep this video on my
that should
channel.
be on the bingo card.
I myself are quite partial, as I said earlier, to rubbing my own thighs. And
Yeah.
from there, moving up and rubbing my
I
own
think
labia
I think I shared too much.
before finally moving on to the clitoris.
Hey, it
Sometimes
was
for
about
me,
self-pleasure.
anything penetrating my vagina isn't necessarily needed to get to orgasm. I can excite myself through my nipples.
I'd like to point out, and I'll turn the video off here, that quite honestly, I think for a lot of women, and I'll get Claire to back me up, vaginal penetration is usually not needed to get you there. It's fun to have the pickle, but it's easy enough to get to the final end result without any penetration at all.
They are, in my opinion, my humble opinion as a bear, they are two different types of orgasms, to tell you the truth. There, so it's a different kind, and often external stimulation is a quicker and more productive orgasm,
and easier to
in
achieve
my humble
multiple
opinion as a
orgasms
bear.
with.
However, I'm partial to both. I'm partial to both at the same time.
Oh yeah,
so
no, I agree there.
Just so you don't feel too uncomfortable about all the information you shared, let me just throw that out there to make that
you're partial to both, yes. Well, I mean,
definitely...
I like both as well, but I personally find it easier to get to multiple orgasms through external stimulation than internal stimulation. So
well, of course, yes. That is the function out there, of course, and actually women are able to do that repeatedly without the breaks in between. I think we discussed that once on a stream already. But there's a question in the chat that I want the answer to too. I know you can't do it now, but about that 7-year, 70-day thing, does the replacement process speed up if you're fasting to the point of autophagy every day? I don't know. I said it's a good question, but we'll have to get back to you on that, Belinda. I want to find that out. I want to know about that. Maybe Ted can tell us. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. But it just stumped me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get you off track there.
Stumped me. After talking about the pickles,
happens.
Claire's been stumped.
I've been stumped. I know. I don't know. But no, definitely externally, it's much easier, especially if you're self-pleasuring.
Yeah.
Because
yeah. I mean, I know I own a lot of dildos, and I've brought them out on different streams and stuff like that. But usually, if I'm self-pleasuring, I rarely bring them out. To be perfectly honest, it's.
You're just obsessed with collecting them. Like,
I'm a collector. I was really upset when I had that lot melt in the box.
It must have been so colorful.
It was dreadful. It was like something for a freaking horror movie. Because I don't know if you've ever seen latex melt, and it didn't melt because it got hot or anything. It melted because of the amount of time these things have been sitting in close proximity to each other. Because I had them stored. I moved house, and until I went to move house again, I hadn't taken these ones out of the box. So there was all these latex dildos stacked on top of each other, and they melted into each other. So it was like this big dildo monster from a horror film. And it was really hard to fit in a bin.
Well, you're lucky that you found it yourself, because when I was reading that article about the man from the morgue with the mummified, units in his home, I was thinking about that box that you had of that melted plastic and what somebody would have thought if they saw that, if they came in. I could have been reading about you on Facebook. About 1,000 colorful units, all melted together there.
Yeah, imagine. There was about 10 of them in that box that melted together, and imagine if I'd had the Texan police force coming to check out how many dildos.
Can you imagine the stories? They'd be telling? Oh my God, there would be a new law. There would be a whole new law. No, you can't have 10. You can't have 6. You can't have 2. Look what happens.
Yeah, look, you cannot have them in close proximity. They meld and mate and
they meld and
dildo
mate.
sex.
It's unregulated dildo sex going on. Oh my God. See, This is why I can't do these kind of streams. You see, I have to be motivated.
Hey, we're having fun. We're being educational and we're having fun, and I think people are enjoying it in general. Hopefully people who come and watch later will enjoy too. I realise there's a lot of streams on at the moment, but this was the only time frame where Claire and I could do this. So
this is a good thing YouTube. It's a good thing YouTube can't see me behind my avatar to see the middle finger I've been giving them the whole stream.
The middle finger. One finger for them. One finger for yourself.
And against terms of service, I've been showing my nipples behind this avatar the whole damn stream. So there you go, YouTube. Take that. Take that. Scream them. Right. But you can't see them. But so they can't do anything about it.
They can't see mine either. They're right here.
That makes sense, Ted. I like that answer.
See, I can go on. And they wouldn't even know if I'm rubbing my nipples or not.
They don't, and they can't see anything below. They got nothing. They don't know what's going on downtown, and it's none of their damn business.
None of their damn business. And
that's right, because if they wanted to know, they should have left that video up.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Think of all those poor people who got their rocks off by watching that first 18 seconds of my video, who are now stumped looking for something else, who are going to have to join OnlyFans. I should put the first 18 seconds up on OnlyFans.
That's right. So that means YouTube, you just screwed yourself out of AdSense. You just screwed yourself out of your own view time and stuff, because everybody's going to go to OnlyFans now instead of watching Jen. It's just bad. Yeah. Bad business, YouTube. Bad business move.
and I don't have to censor the nipples on OnlyFans.
Right.
I can take the black bars off.
There you go.
I probably can't actually. I don't think I've got. Whilst I've got this version of the video that was all edited together, I don't think I have the original footage. So I'd have to put cartoon nipples on me if I was going to take the black bars off, or cut and paste somebody else's nipples.
You could. There's plenty of them out there.
There are. There's plenty of them out there on YouTube. Yeah. That's why I don't get why they were so upset.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a TOS against like showing fake boobs and nipples on top of your boobs and nipples. Like,
what I should do is cover my body with a cartoon body and just put the whole video back up.
Because they got no problem with my naked avatar, so I guess I shouldn't say that, though. I could get like
we could get done eventually.
In the middle of the night. I mean, because they're swinging from chandeliers and everything, and YouTube hasn't said shit about that.
That just gave me entirely the wrong visual, Claire, swinging from.
But it's true. Have you seen that intro? The fucking avatar swinging across the. Never mind. I'm so excited about animated avatars. Oh, I gotta get a big system. This has to happen.
Oh, we have to have bouncy boob ones. You just. Well, we'll just have to have tassels on the end.
Well, because I want my avatar to turn around and. I want to be able to have my avatar turn around and show my butt if I want to.
Oh yeah. Bend over and say, "Kiss my ass."
Exactly. Here, YouTube.
Kiss my.
Here's a pretty one for you. Here's a pretty one for you. There you go. But anyway.
All right.
No.
Shall we continue?
Yeah, I think we should. I can't stay on track today. I'm sorry, Jen. It's the whole.
No, that's fine. Like I said, that was.
I definitely. You know what I should have did? I should have masturbated before we got on here and settled myself.
Masturbate now. There's no reason why you can't. No one can see what you're doing.
I do think the buzzing would be distracting to the audience. Actually, you know. But there you go. I think they might get a little bit
oddly
of
enough,
what was going on.
That's not the only video I have pretended to masturbate on the front start off. I did it on an earlier video, but I was fully clothed for it. So
how the hell did you stay quiet? Because there's no way I could be up here doing anything like that. And nobody wouldn't know what was going on.
Oh no! I did the intro of the video as I can't even remember what the video was about. It was a debunking video where I was debunking somebody who was talking about my Good Vibrations video. If anybody wants to go and hunt that up on The thing was a person talking about the vibrations of the universe making you feel good, so I started it off with the sounds of a vibrator and me pretending to masturbate. Those vibrations are so good. And that video hasn't been reported. And yet that's exactly the same intro. It's just that I'm naked for the other one.
And then oh my God. So what is that? You know, it definitely had to be a mass flagging then.
Oh, it was. It was definitely a mass flagging.
Oh my God.
And because I'm not actually naked in the other one, even if they tried to mass flag it, I think YouTube would just take it that I'm joking and it wasn't serious. And anybody who watched it would go, you're not doing it because you're obviously clothed. Whereas in that one, it's not quite as obvious.
And you were faking in that. I don't know. I don't know.
I was faking it. If I'd actually started doing it, I'd never have got the video made.
Exactly. It's like it's not like you can concentrate on anything else.
That's right.
I mean, you shouldn't be concentrating on it. Yeah, I mean, if you're doing it appropriately, you can't really.
If you're doing it properly, I would have forgotten what the whole punchline was and just kept going.
It just kept going, and it's like, oh, that was good. Can I have another? And there you go. You know. It's like, that was good. That felt like more.
Right, okay. Everyone, this is take 10.
It's a whole different stream. Yeah. It just went in a whole different direction, for sure.
All right. I'll put it up again. Yep.
I just thought of something. When we go to Six Pack, they're separating us from now on. I bet you we're on opposite ends of the screen.
They'll probably have us on separate shows.
They're not gonna, like, Chris is rolling right now. He's like, oh my God, no. Oh no. We'll behave, Jay. I promise. I swear. I bear pinky swear.
I might say this doesn't look so bad, seeing as how Meghann hasn't got back yet. I might shift door and turn off the other one just so that the people don't have a green splodge in the middle of the screen.
Ted, I agree with you, except for it's guys. I'll tell you, the last one I fell for it, he spouted off on quantum science and psychics, and that did me just right. I agree. He likes smart chicks. Yeah, that's it. And laughter. Yep. So, if you know any quantum science jokes, I'm your girl.
Quantum sex.
Well, on how many planes?
I've been with a guy who was so small it could have been called quantum sex.
Oh gosh! Now I feel bad. I feel so bad for him. Well, thank God there is quantum for him. Thank God there's quantum.
He's got to be careful fucking those atoms in case he splits one, though.
It might be to his benefit if he's got that issue.
You get a real bang out of it.
Well, I'm going to behave.
Behave? All right.
I'm trying. I'm doing my best.
Let's bring the video back up. I might shift it down here and maybe make it a little smaller on us so that people can still see us. And then I don't have to turn it off and on all the time. Do I? All right. Let's play it a little bit more.
Through my labia, through my clitoris, quite well enough without having to put anything inside myself. But for those moments when you want to get something in there, a little bit of vibration can often help. And there's lots of tools that we as women can use to help us get there. I have quite a selection of vibrators.
I had a little less
and dildos because they can be quite fun to have. Whether you're going the little tickler, or you want to move up to something a bit nicer, and bigger, and fun. If you want to go all the way with a nice cock. The whole thing is to find out what's right for you.
Show my biggest one.
To experiment with your body, because it's your body and you can do that. Explore your own body. Don't be afraid of it. Touch yourself.
When I think about you, I touch myself.
Find out what pleases you. What feels good to you. feels good to you is playing with your boobs, then play with your boobs. They're your boobs. You're allowed to do
play
that.
with your fucking boobs, okay? People, play with your boobs
If
right
you
now.
wanna
That's
go
an
lower
order. Play with
and
your
enjoy
tits.
yourself down below. And enjoy yourself down below. It's yours. Enjoy it. It's
You're
your body.
so serious.
Enjoy your body.
I am looking really serious.
That's part of being a woman.
You are.
Part of knowing yourself. And part of getting the most out of being you. Getting to know your body is perhaps one of the best things that we as women can do for ourselves. Now, I have a video on my channel that's all about vaginas. And I'll put a link down below in the description.
Jeez, that
Not
was
in my
cheesy.
vagina.
Now that was
But
that
please go and
was
check
cheesy.
that out. if you
That's
wanna learn a
gotta
bit more
go.
about
That's
the
gotta
vagina.
go.
My
That's
good
gotta
friend
That
Navadia
was cheesy.
did a video on the clitoris.
Yeah.
And I'll also put a link to that below. In
I
the
might link them
description
in this
if you wanna
video
learn
later
about
as well.
that. But the best way to learn about your own body is to
And
explore
they're
it.
still up, right?
They are still
But this
up, yeah.
one is not.
Feel around down there. Get
Yes,
to
feel
know
around.
what bits are you and what feels good.
Seriously, that's a dreadful picture of me, but seriously, yes. Get to know yourself. Feel around your own body. Get to know your own body. Don't be afraid of your body because, as I said, it's your body. Get to know it. And as
Right.
Claire and I both said, if you don't know your body, how can you expect your partner to know what you like
Exactly.
if you don't know what you like?
Right. Because you need to know what you respond to, so that you can show them what you respond to. And a good educated partner is always going to ask or lead or want to know that information. They want to have it be as pleasurable for them because pleasing someone else is just as much pleasure. Like I'm sure they'll have a good time anyway, but it's that much better if they know that you were there for the whole thing. So it's a win-win.
Definitely a win-win. We'll watch some more because I mean we got to try and get through this at some point. It's only a short video. We've only got 2 and a bit minutes left, so I think we can get through
I
it.
can't believe they leave up the clit video, they leave up the vagina video.
I'm
but
not
they
naked
took
in
out...
any of them though.
No, I don't think it's a naked thing. I think they just don't want you to touch yourself. I think they're offended about touching yourself. I do. I think
You know, the worst part about it is the vagina video has, and Mero's clitoris video have lots of really good artist depictions of the anatomy in them. It's like technically I'm
and they
showing
left those
more
out.
in those videos, but it's a lot easier to claim education on that than it is on a video that starts out with me pretending to masturbate because I'm talking about a masturbation in a video that's educational.
Yeah,
As anyone who can see
it
this
is.
I'm not masturbating during the main portion of the video. I'm talking about masturbation in the same way that Claire and I have here. Even though I'm naked, the top up,
Right.
we are just talking about it. We're having a bit of fun. A lot more fun than I had with this. But that's the nature of this discussion about it because we want to take the piss out of YouTube because at the end of this, everyone's seen this whole video. Most people who are watching this have probably already seen the video when it was still live on the channel. But there's nothing in this apart from those first 18 seconds that you could possibly call sexual, as in sexually explicit. And even that first bit, if you get the context of the video, within the context of the video, it should have been perfectly fine.
It should have been. They just couldn't handle. They just couldn't.
They just couldn't be bothered
Or
looking.
actually,
That's what it is.
whoever had the issue with it couldn't handle it because YouTube and obviously never even looked at the.
Oh
damn
no,
video.
YouTube never looked at it at all. Like I said, I could re-upload this without that intro, and there's no way they could even claim. And I probably, like I said, I will do. I may even make a snarky new intro I may cut some clips from this about us being snarky and put it as an intro, and then just play the video on its own as well, just so it can get, it can be there as a video for the content that's in it. But I mean, anybody who wants to get more information, wants to know what we're really on about, anyone who watches this stream is going to get all the same information, probably a bit more because it's it's a year and a bit later, and there's two of us here. Well, there were three of us here talking about it to start off with, and giving you information like this and empowering. It's more about empowering even than the information. Hearing from other women that you can go and play with yourself, you can touch yourself, you can learn about yourself is empowering. Because we don't always hear that. A lot of the people around us tell us to be embarrassed about our bodies. We've grown up in a society that teaches women to be embarrassed about being women.
Actually, I was fortunate enough. My mother was not embarrassed that way at all. She, about being naked, about sharing what being a woman was about, and how I could be comfortable with it and how I could not conform. And yet she understood the struggles too of the societal pressures. And, she was a big one for saying, there's some things you just have to put up with until it changes, but there's no reason you shouldn't still fight for the changes, But, still, I was fortunate that way, but not everyone is. People won't talk about it, and that's a shame. But there's still plenty of research that you can do, and you can find people to talk to about it for sure.
Definitely.
If you won't, I'll talk about it. Come ask me.
Well, we often talk about this sort of stuff on Mayhem, and I plan on doing a lot more of these sex positive type streams or videos. I might cut back on doing the videos for. I might pull back from doing videos for a little bit, or I might do the video, but I'll make sure it's fairly tight, and then we'll do a stream based around the video, and then I'll post the video.
There you go.
So I
do a premiere.
We basically premiere in the stream, and then I post the video separate, a bit like you do with your reading the funny books.
My naughty bear reads.
Naughty fairy tales, yeah.
My naughty bear. I'm waiting for my next delivery. Yeah.
Oh, cool. So something like that is probably what I'll aim at, so that we can get feedback and stuff like that, and it'll be a bit of fun for us. I may even not always premiere them on my channel. If I've got the video up, I might go, "Hey Claire, do you want to do one on yours?" Just because it's a bit of fun. Because I know you'd love it.
Special Mayhem edition.
A special Mayhem
edition.
I'm
down for that.
I think
special Mayhem edition. I think education is always
and we always try to educate
whenever we talk about a Mayhem, because it's not just nude and funny and sex over there. We do educate. We do talk about serious stuff too, occasionally, amongst showing like
almost every week actually, Claire. The last couple of ones I've been on, we've always got to something serious somewhere in the show.
Somewhere, because I never run away from the conversations.
No,
ever,
and we shouldn't. We shouldn't feel like we have to run away from the conversations. These sort of conversations are needed, and even being faced with a bit of humorous sexual play, like I had on the start of this actual video. We shouldn't run away from that. The fact that YouTube wants to take that away from people, an opportunity to bring people in to watch it. Because there have been a lot of guys who clicked on that purely to watch that beginning thing. And whilst a lot of them clicked off after the 18 seconds, they got their jollies, they were happy, or they just rewatched the 18 seconds. I know that from how many views it had. There were others who went all the way through and then wrote comments. And there were a lot of women who watched it all the way through and wrote comments, which was great. The feedback in general was really positive, because I was talking about things that people needed to be talked about. And we need to talk about these things all the time. We need to have it in people's heads that don't be afraid, don't be prudish, don't be afraid of your bodies, don't be afraid to enjoy being who you are.
No, you shouldn't, because you are who you are.
Exactly.
Embrace it. Own it.
Embrace yourself.
That's how you're going to be. Embrace yourself. Make yourself happy. Definitely.
All right. Shall we try and get through the rest of it?
We shall try. I don't know. I'm getting all hot. I'm getting all warm.
Yeah.
It's the music.
It does that.
This is like this is like, for me, this is like watching porn. The music is making me think this must be like what it's like. I don't know if I could do that. I don't know.
It is very porn-like, isn't it? It took me ages to find a piece of music that sounded like that.
It's just something about it. I keep expecting the doorbell to ring and the pizza guy to walk in or something.
Oh, that would have been brilliant. I should have had somebody hand me a pizza whilst I was doing it.
There you go. There's an idea for the next one. There
Yeah,
you go.
there's an idea for the next one. All right, let's go.
Feel your breasts. I mean, you should be doing that anyway, because you should be checking your breasts
check
for
your
any
tits.
signs of horrible things like cancer. But you should also be getting to know yourself and exploring yourself. The more you explore yourself and know about yourself, the more pleasure you can give to yourself. And ultimately, the more pleasure you can have with a lover. Because if you know yourself, what you like, you can tell your lover what you like.
Yep.
You can explain to them, it feels good when you touch me like that. Because you already know, and you know what you're not going to like, because you've already explored yourself. Don't be afraid of your body. Explore yourself. Enjoy yourself. Love yourself.
Yes.
Enjoy masturbation, because it's good for you. So what have we learned? A lot of people masturbate. More men than women, but maybe more women should. It's good for us, it's fun, it gives us all those happy brain drugs that are natural and good for
I like
us.
them brain drugs.
It's great for burning a few calories. And above all else, it lets us know about our own body. So, next time you're feeling a little down, or alone, or sad, or anything, really, you've just got a few spare moments to yourself and a lot of privacy, or not, depending on your wants, why not take a little bit of time for yourself and explore yourself and enjoy yourself? Anyway, everyone, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe
Yeah,
for
please
more
like and subscribe.
fabulous content. And remember, please don't choke on the selfie stick. And now, I think I'll go back to what I was doing before.
Oh, nice loud one. There you go.
I forgot about that
See?
bit at the end.
See, there's no doubt if you turn one of those on when you're on YouTube, the people aren't gonna know what's going on. It's like right there. That was loud.
that
was a good one.
awesome.
That
so,
was.
so yeah,
Good
and
job.
there's my old tagline, which I rarely say anymore, but yeah, please try not to choke on that selfie stick, people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, yes, there's lots of little suggestive bits in the video.
But I don't think it should have been taken down
It
for
shouldn't have been
any of
taken
that.
down for any of that. And I think the good content that's there is way more important than the couple of little bits. And even if they'd asked me to remove that intro just so that it started off with my old title screen, I would have done that. You know, they could have said, look, please remove that. They could have put it in as a sexual claim on the first 18 seconds. Please remove it. Either remove the video or remove those 18 seconds. And you have those tools in YouTube to remove it. And I would have removed it and let the video stay. And then I would have had the interactions and the content would still be there. Now, I can put the content back up. That's fine. I'm not happy about losing the hours from it or the views, but that shit happens. But what really annoys me is the fact that YouTube don't have a process don't actually properly use their own process where they say, we're going to have a person look at this, and then they don't. They obviously don't, because 20 seconds to respond to an email that would have taken them more than 20 seconds to read just shows that they don't. It was purely an automated response, and they, at that point, they might as well have just taken down the whole video to start off with and said, nope, there's no way that you can put a counterclaim on this. We're never going to let you, because that's pretty much what they did. They wasted my time. They certainly didn't waste theirs because they didn't do anything. They just let the bot deal with the claims of these religious nutters who put a claim against my video. So, it's a common problem with YouTube.
Yeah, it is, and you have to suffer the loss of all of the views and all, and you have to start all over. Because even if you put it back up, you don't get the views.
No, you don't get the views
You're
back.
gonna have to start over. You don't get it back, and that sucks. And I wish there was more that you could do about it. Like, I know they say that if you at YouTube on Twitter, you get a better response. Like because they actually have people working
Except
the Twitter.
I added
but that's how you
YouTube on
got to
Twitter
20
and called them
seconds.
assholes.
Well,
so that was never going to give me a good response, that one. Okay, so what's Matt saying?
I don't know he's saying something about
I just
a
went
wet
upstairs
bed.
to hit some lunch up, and there was a wet bird waiting for me. One of my magpies was sitting on the veranda completely soaked. It isn't raining. You must have had a bath. Either way, I went from this window to looking at a wet bird.
Looking at a wet bird.
Oh. Dad joke from Matt.
Dad joke. Very good, Matt.
Well done, Matt.
I got it, actually. Well done, Matt. Well done.
Love you, Matt.
So he's adorable.
I think yeah, I think I will still make my other content on sex educational stuff, and I think this format as a way to preview it and bring it out. Yeah, bring them out. I'll be a bit more careful about how I do my intros and stuff, because, as somebody said, if you don't put the saucy stuff or the swearing stuff right at the very beginning, generally speaking, the algorithm doesn't necessarily look past that, and also the most of the religious people just go man and move on to the next thing that they can report, because who's going to look through a whole 10-minute video to find one little tiny section? Like, even though I get the vibrator out in that video and we did show it on this stream, it's unlikely to get reported because it's right near the end of it.
Right, so, because they don't watch that far, doesn't go that, don't check that far.
No, they don't. And there's nothing else in this that is anything else. And we have completely been educational and fun in here. We've been irreverent to one of my own videos, whilst actually supporting the content, supporting these ideas that
it's valid.
It's
valid information.
It is valid. Right. It's still valid.
It's education.
It's not the way I would have presented it if I'd made it now. But it is still valid.
But it was
all the
good.
Information in there is accurate.
It is still good.
Yeah, it is still good.
Well, there you go. I'll bet if you do one now, you'll get 150,000 views. Let's just say.
I'm hoping this stream gets a lot of views too, because I think it's a message we need to give people that, these things, exploring yourself, understanding yourself, there is nothing wrong with masturbating. There is nothing wrong with flicking the bean. There's nothing wrong with toking the pole. It doesn't matter whether you're a guy or a girl. Get to know your body, enjoy yourself. Tell your partner what you like.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's how, gentlemen learn what they like the best. So, anyway, what I would do is I would take what you did in the first video, take your idea about how you want to do instructionals, combine the two, and knock it out of the park for 1 million views on the next one, because that's what's going to happen. Like, here she comes, YouTube. You cannot keep a good masturbating woman down. You cannot. You cannot. Once we are free to please ourselves, the hell you say, YouTube.
Well, we don't have to please YouTube. We just have to please ourselves.
Ourselves, that's right. And I think making that video would please you immensely.
Oh, it would.
And quite a few other people, I think. So, yeah, I think you should. I think you should carry on and just take what you did in that one and knock it out of the park.
I'll tell you what, there is one really good thing about the video being taken, one positive thing from the video being taken down. Well, there's a couple of them. This stream is a positive thing from that, because we've had a attached response to it. The fact that it's motivated me to want to do more of that content again, because I think it's important, and fuck you, YouTube. And thirdly, my average length watch for my videos had gone down to under a minute. And it was purely because of that video.
Oh, no.
So it's suddenly up to about, I think my current average watch for a video is now about 18 minutes, just because they took the stats off that video. So I'm like, yeah, it really did screw with my with my stats to a certain extent. So rebuilding back up from that won't be a bad thing, and it did bring a fair bit of traffic to my channel, which was a good thing as well. So I'm not begrudging.
I
Like
got
said,
a lot of people contacted me about it when we promoted for it on the Mayhem, and they didn't know it was out there. They were quite pleased to find your channel and the education that was there. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, and I'm sure Matt's happy that video is not on my channel anymore, because it was the most sus video on my channel, which didn't look good when we were doing all our other science videos. Especially, it was my most watched video, so it always showed up.
You know what? But it's science. I don't know.
It is.
See, that's not right. It's still science. Learning how to please ourselves is still biology. It's still science. It still had scientific value. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't put that connotation on that. Like, you put another video up there.
I will be. I definitely will be replacing it or reposting it without those 18 seconds. I'm tempted not to repost it because the algorithm might be looking for it in any of its context. So doing it again, because we've already got it reposted now in this stream, doing it again as a new version of the video, perhaps making it a little bit shorter and more to the point, because I repeat myself an awful lot in that video. And you know,
I think you could do multiple things like that. You're a smart, educated woman. You should have any type of video like that you want. I mean, my library, it has Blake, it has Poe, and then it has naughty books. I mean, should I do one or the other? No. I should do both. I should do all, right? Like, I could do the classics.
And we like lots of different things.
And don't tell me y'all don't like it that way, because that is what you like. You don't want it one way or the other. You want both. You prefer both.
You've got to like it both ways.
You better don't even try to lie to me and tell me you don't. Bear's not having it. No. You want the good girl and the bad girl. You want her very, very bad and very, very good. So, So have it both ways.
All right.
You should have your Blake and your naughty too.
So we have another Chris free 6-pack on Friday.
Yes.
So please, anyone who's in the chat, come along to 6-pack and enjoy me and Claire taking over, because that's pretty much what happens. Matt will be there too.
Matt and Jay and God, grumpy old dude, and Jade will be there.
Jade will be there,
and Chris won't.
And Chris
so you need to come
it'll be an
see
awesome show.
Right. So no, just remember, Chris isn't going to be there, so you get to find out who finally wrestles control of the channel. Like, that's
will it be Claire or will it be Jay?
It's not gonna be Claire, because Claire ain't gonna do it. No, don't worry about that. Jay, I'll help you. I'll help you. Because number 8, Chris is always the asshole, and he still dropped Bear and me with those damn wrestling bears. There's not been a nice bear up there yet.
What have you got? You've got a busy week, haven't you, Clay? Because you got a whole heap of stuff on. Because this was the only day we could do this. So.
I do.
So what have you got?
I don't know how this happens. I have Am I the Asshole tomorrow at 5 Eastern on my channel with my friend Illuminati. She's one hell of a funny lady, and I can't wait to see her again. Then Wednesday's a rescheduled Black Mirror that I'm just on panel with. Thursday's a YouTube series with small creators. Fridays with you guys. I love that in the morning. I love having coffee and laughing my ass off. But last time, my face hurt all day. Like,
that
Jay,
was hilarious.
I heard,
Jay took it to the next level.
Yes, it did. Like, my face hurt all day. Like, I'm glad I didn't have to stream, because I wouldn't have been able to talk, because I was laughing like so hard. My cheeks were like sore and swollen. But it's a good way to wake up. Like, because for me, it's early here in the States. Your pre-show is way too early. Like, I would be
you'd have to get up at like 4 a.m. or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah. So I do make the other show. I get up early. That's not my normal wake up time, but I get up early for that, because you guys are worth it. But,
we love you, Claire.
Yeah, don't get all excited. I know, don't get all excited, Jay. Oh, that's okay. But you guys are. I really like it over there. It's smart and it's funny, and I recommend everybody get up early if you're in the States and get your ass over there with your coffee, because it's worth it, and it's a great way to start the day.
If you follow
Saturday's
Claire on Twitter,
Mayhem.
Twitter. Claire has all these things linked in her what's
I
happening this
do
week.
because I don't have a damn community tab yet because YouTube hates me. They
Yeah.
take my subscribers away every week.
Yeah,
They
that's
throw
why you
some
need
more
to
at me and
subscribe
then
to
they
all of us.
take them
Go over and
away.
subscribe to Claire if you're
Yeah.
not already.
Everybody. Yeah.
And if you're not subscribed to me, if this is your first time here, come and subscribe because both of us want to get those community tabs because
We do because
That's
it's because
so
this
handy.
Twitter feed that's got like 20,000 entries on it is getting to be a bit much. But it is like Twitter's gonna start. Twitter's gonna start saying I'm spamming links again. I got suspended once for 12 hours for too many links or something. So I don't know what that is, but because you put the YouTube links out there, I don't know. Well, because I'm polite, I don't do anything terrible to anybody on YouTube to get suspended. And I'm not naked on Twitter, so I don't know. But anyway, get all your relatives to subscribe too, and just don't have them show up. The elderly or the very prudish for Saturday. That might be rough, but the rest of it's okay. The rest of it's cool.
And then of course we get to Saturday. And Saturday's an awesome day.
It's mayhem.
It's
It's just
mayhem.
all balls,
It's always mayhem.
balls to the wall. Yeah. It's anything goes, balls to the
Although
wall,
to be
whatever
fair, there were
sticks.
absolutely no testicles around last Sunday because the guys didn't show
There
up.
weren't. Well, that's because our friend had some internet issues, but that's okay because we had a good time.
We did.
It happens.
We always
I
have
mean,
a good time,
honestly,
Claire. We had a good time here.
when
We have a
when
good
I
time
started Mayhem, it was all women at first, and then they were coming at me in the back of my comment section and in my DM saying I was being reverse sexist.
Yeah.
So then
I'd like to know how that actually works when there are so many streams that go out that only have guys on them. And
I don't know.
How does that work?
They were offended, so I said, "Well, naked men, get your asses up here with me. I'll be naked with whoever
Get your
shows up."
naked asses
They
up
did.
here.
Yeah, that's it. And some of them have. It's been quite pleasant because I do like having a balanced conversation.
We've had
We've had some really great
we've
conversations
had quite a few
with
of the
the
guys
gentlemen
on
being
there
there too.
now because I mean we've had
Well,
Peter and Davros.
well, Peter's
and
yeah,
Matt.
Davros has been there, and Matt's been there, Jeff's been
Jeff's
there.
been there,
Yeah. So there's been quite a few, and actually Peter's part of the Naked Bear Squad now. He's still like a regular, so when he can, when his
when
internet
he can
is
bother
back.
to take his clothes off.
Oh my God, are you throwing the challenge down at Peter? I think he'll take that one.
He probably
think he'd
would.
take it. You better
I'm
be
pretty
careful.
sure Peter, if we did another one of these, would put up his hand and say, "Hey, can I join the panel naked?"
He would be. He
With a
would be
camera
there.
on. Yep.
He did. Yep. It didn't. I didn't have to ask him twice to show up with a naked avatar. He was there.
No, he was pretty quick at it.
He was very good at it too, I have to say.
Yeah.
He's a very good guest to have, as they all have been. I'm very pleased with everybody who shows up because all you need is a sense of humor, and clothing's optional. I mean, if you want to wear your clothes, you can.
But if you can make a
not gonna
naked
hold it.
avatar, even better.
Yeah, if you can, it's not easy to do. I had to farm all mine out. I had to trade in favors
Made my
and get
own.
all the clothes. I'm just not that talented. I couldn't do it. I created my own avatars, but they were dressed, and then I sent them away, and they came back naked. It was a great thing.
You had somebody undress your avatar.
Yeah, I wonder if they had fun. I don't know. But yes, they came back all naked. I send my avatars out to get naked. Yep, that's what I do. I'm an honest bear. I'm not going to take credit for it. I didn't do it. But they look pretty good, too. He did a good job. They did good.
The other thing, next Saturday night, as we normally do, I mean, I know we've missed a couple of Saturdays, but Matt and I will be doing another bathtub show where we'll be talking science. We are hoping to have and I've got to confirm it, but we're hoping to have somebody who works at NASA come on to have a talk.
Oh, I know you were talking about that. That's
So
going to be Saturday, right?
That should.
I
be
love that
really
one too.
Really good fun.
So show up for Schrodinger's bathtub because it's good too. I like that on the mornings.
Yeah.
You always see me there in the chat for a little bit.
We
I'm
always
quiet
do.
though.
We'll have to have you on one
I
week,
know.
Claire, because we
No,
have
no,
plenty...
no, no. I'm the least scientific.
Yeah,
bear,
but not
you
everything
know.
we do is science. Sometimes we're just talking about people who say stupid things, or when we do the quizzes and things like that.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing you can
It's
come on
true.
and be part of and enjoy because it's just fun.
Yeah.
So
Well, we'll see.
We'll have to have
we'll
you on
see.
sometime,
We'll see if
Claire.
it's not, as long as it's not about,
At least
you
it
know,
doesn't start
technical
as
stuff.
early as Six Pack does.
No, no. Then I couldn't do it 2 days in a row that early. That would throw me off, because you know I'm up like all godly
Six
hours
Pack's
of
going to
the
get
night.
worse when you guys come off daylight saving,
Mm,
because you'll come off and Chris will go on, and that expands that time difference by 2 hours.
oh,
Yeah, and
damn.
I know sometimes Chris will start the show later our time just so that
Mhm.
we don't. But I don't know what his plan is.
No, I
this,
think-
this year around.
Actually, I think he already warned me for the times that I may be needed to cover or whatever. I think he already told me what the hours would be, but I have to go
Not going to
look.
be great.
Yeah. No, he said, don't worry about the pre-show. That's 4 a.m.
Yeah, no, that's
yeah,
dreadful.
okay,
But I
no.
don't know when you
Yeah,
come
not
off
gonna do that.
daylight saving, or when they start.
November.
November, yeah.
I think
I
November
don't think we
for
start
us.
here until end of October, so I think it'll be fine for the next little bit. But yeah.
No, that would be cool.
All
That
right.
would be cool. So on that,
yeah.
so Dave, we did it. We
We
critiqued
did it. We got
You're
there.
going to redo it. We did it.
We did
And
it.
YouTube did it. I just
They
hope
didn't
this
take us
one
down.
stays up.
I don't see why it won't.
They didn't.
I think this one's got Viagra in it, Claire.
Well, if it does, it'll stay, because you know the damn well ain't gonna regulate that shit. They're so
No, they're not going to
sexist.
regulate that shit.
Don't even get me started on that. Like, it's so you see that, you get my blood pressure going. Like, you know, send me off on my way. I'll be out on Twitter causing all kind of havoc now.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
gonna be there.
That's the idea, Claire.
There you go. I know you have ulterior motives there.
I do. I always have ulterior motives.
I know. If you're gonna have a motive, have an
thank you
ulterior
so
one.
much, Claire, for joining me. This has
You're
been
welcome.
awesome. Thank you to Meghann for
It's
joining
fun.
us earlier on. Sorry you had internet problems, Meghann. Thank you to everyone in the chat. You've been absolutely amazing. And everybody who watches it later, you're awesome. Please give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already.
Mhm.
And please subscribe if you're not. And please go and subscribe to Claire. And follow Claire
Yeah.
and myself and Meghann on Twitter, because we're all awesome. And you should be following us, because you know, you've got to get your
Right.
daily doses.
Mhm.
And
It's your daily doses.
get your daily doses.
That if Nikki was here, she'd hashtag you for sure. for
Oh,
that
she
one.
definitely hashtagged me for that one.
Yeah, she would definitely.
uh,
I'm
So-
on to. All right,
so yeah.
Sure.
So thank you, everybody, and
and
we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
yeah, good day, good night. See you later.
Bye.